Wow, okay. Is this for me?
You can guess where you're gonna go, right?
No way.
So, Cody here's gonna mic you up, and you'll be very well. Actually, can you mic him up?
No, I do.
Okay, why don't you mic him up and Cody will be back there.
Cool. Sir, here's the clips right here. So we come up here. So here, we have you run this under your shirt. Does it matter if it's visible?
I'd rather if it wasn't, but.
If it, well, okay. I'm just trying to think, because we don't have anything to cover it from getting rubbed against.
Oh, then, yeah, make it visible as long as, just, I don't want the.
No,
cable
not this,
dangling.
yeah, for
Right,
sure.
I don't want the cable dangling.
Alright, actually, yeah.
Feel like I can do it like this. Throw it in there, no? Or move it.
As long as we don't hear the jacket too much and we can,
And that is the one thing, I don't know whose phone that was, but we need to mute our phones, please.
you have a pocket you can shove that in.
Okay, let me just so. There you go. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, let's put this back in your shirt and then put this in your pocket or on your back, in your pants. Can we clip it to right here? Yeah. Can you do it straight up, like on the pants, like? Yeah.
It's fine, dude. Do it on your shoes.
Thanks. And then, do you mind like putting this in your pocket or something? So it's out of the way.
Jesus Chrysler.
Just kidding. Put the shirt over that. We should be good. Sweet. We're gonna have you talk a little bit. Just say whatever. Just test the levels.
Whatever. Test the levels. Let's do this. What is this for? First one. Anybody? Please. Remind me what this is for?
Oh, this is the Maker Docs, so this is for the Chris's Creatives Makerspace. We're doing interviews with local artists, finding more about who you are, what you do, and why.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Happy to do it.
Yes.
And thank you for coming.
Yes. Okay. Had to zap into what time I'm in right now.
So we're just gonna get the cameras up and ready?
Let's go.
I'm gonna cut and then I'm gonna hold for focus. Actually, that's looking pretty good.
Ready for the shot.
Who are you?
I'm good.
Are you gonna be interviewing me?
I'm gonna be interviewing you.
Okay. Who are you?
Something for you to know, though, I'm not gonna be seen on film. They're not gonna be using my questions. So, I'm just gonna sort of give you a guided conversation. So it'll, in the end, just have you sound like you're speaking about your work in entirety. And I'll give you the questions to answer, and just feel free to say whatever you like.
No.
Yes.
No. But I will say what I need to say at the
Very
best of
good.
my knowledge
Wonderful.
and yours.
Okay?
Just
And,
kidding.
all right. Action.
So first, can you please state your name and what kind of artist or creator you are?
My name is Saba. I am Diné and Walatoa from northern New Mexico. Diné is Navajo. That's what you probably know it as. Walatoa is Jemez Pueblo, which is located an hour outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I am an aerosol artist.
What is that exactly?
Aerosol artist. What does it sound like? What's aerosol? Right? Aerosol is spray paint. But it's also a play on words. Aerosol, okay. Arrow meaning, you know what arrows are? Bow and arrows, right? I'm an Indian. Like, that's what we use to survive, to hunt, to defend ourselves, right? And the soul, I sure hope you know what a soul is. Both the arrow is used to nurture and to help preserve the soul, this body that we live in. And aerosol is a play on words, like aerosol spray paint, right? So it's also the way I hunt, right? I use my artwork that incorporate arrows from graffiti style, hip hop culture, and so we use arrows in that sense, So I'm using arrows literally to make money, to eat, to pay the rent, to take care of my family. And then there's a whole nother layer of it as well. Graffiti culture, hip hop culture. It focuses on on pure expression, right? So I'm an aerosol artist that kind of incorporates everything. It's kind of like the word art, right? We don't really have a word for art in my culture, so because everything we do, me breathing right now, is considered art, right? And so yeah, I guess that's what an aerosol artist is everything, But I just like to focus it and play it on what I was brought up doing, what I love, and what I will continue doing for the rest of my life.
Very good. And then, can you now take me to the beginning? What brought you to this specific craft?
To the where?
How did you get started in your work?
How did I get started in my work? Did you say? I just explained that living is my work, right? Staying alive as an indigenous person of this land is my work, which happens to also be my art. Yeah.
How long have you been in practice now?
All my life, I guess, as long as I can remember. I mean, my earliest professional experience is with art, I guess, or that term is an art show that I was a part of when I was in a boarding school on the reservation, and as a way for us to to compete and have fun with other schools out there, we would compete and have these little art shows. So I remember winning one, and it was a way for me to escape it wasn't treacherous conditions, but it was just being away from home, right, at a boarding school, on way out in the middle of nowhere. But it was an experience that made me who I am today. But art has always been there, drawing, painting, just getting your mind off of stuff, right? So that was a way for me to get out of that experience or that situation. So I would paint, to kind of go to that place. Like people go to yoga, or go golfing, or I don't know, whatever it is people do. That's what I do, is I paint. And so I guess as long back, just being born again is rough. You're born into this world with the crazy hospital bill, right? So you got to start working to pay off that bill right when you're born. So yeah, just kind of keep it like that, and focus on it like that, So.
And then for
Wait, hold
your...
on, I'm sorry, just to interrupt real quick, these cameras only shoot for about 12 minutes each, you know what I mean, before they cut off. So So let's strike the cameras and then restart for the next question. So it doesn't cut in the middle of the answer.
Right, thank you.
We've only been filming for 6 minutes.
Yeah, just to make sure, because we get a 6-minute answer and it's good, and then it cuts in the middle of it, that'll suck, you know? Okay, yeah, sorry, I haven't worked a 7 in a while.
You wanna go back and do that
We
one
could do
again?
that again, just-
He didn't like that question.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, okay, good point.
I think that he felt that he had stated that in the first.
Okay, then.
What?
Can I just keep going, or would you like me to
No,
ask the
I'm
question
just,
again?
yeah, no, that's fine. You're right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's wait for the cameras to roll, and then we'll continue.
Roll.
How many questions are there?
There's
There's
only
gonna be
about
187.
six
And
or
they
seven.
progressively get more intense. How's your
Okay.
algebra?
Horrible.
Okay.
All right. So how much longer? Just so I can like know what I gotta tell.
It'd be nice to get another 30 minutes or so, like
Holy
whatever
shit.
you're comfortable with, though. We want to get you on a soapbox. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
But whatever you're going to give us, that's
Okay.
That's what we can work with.
Okay.
So don't.
Mo-
So be
mostly-
prepared.
Yeah, mostly we just
Just
want to
kidding.
highlight you, man, so.
I know. Thank you so much.
Would you like me to lighten it up and keep it a little shorter?
No. I'm just wondering, right? So
I mean, how many more are there, like, seriously?
6.
So only 6 more questions.
cool. That's all I wanted to know. Okay.
Can you take me through the process, the physical process of how you create your work and your paintings?
Okay. Can I ask what? What the painting? Okay. So okay. So a painting, I will. I use spray paint, right? So aerosol paint, aerosol art, spray background, and just apply. I don't know. It just comes out, right? What I tell people is my style. If you're familiar with my style, and you look at it, some people can't decipher what it is, and some people just go off and create whatever comes to their mind, and I guess that's kind of what art is for people to take as their own and to digest it the way they want to. That's why having this interview right now is hard, right? I'm a visual artist, right? So I tell you what I'm thinking through my painting, right? And you can try to figure it out if you want, but either way, you get the impression of where I'm coming from. So anyway, I paint kindergarten landscapes is what I describe, and would have to tell you that all I do is take a square box, right, and throw a triangle on top, right? That makes a house, and a little half circle in the corner of the page. That's a sun, right? Did you guys do this? I'm sure. Raise your hand. Anyway, and then a tree, vegetation, and that's kind of like, I think our first steps out, our creation story, so to speak, when we're babies, right? You're harnessed like this once you're born, and you have to take a ride inside of a car and in a car seat, and you don't get to experience the date, because it's probably cold. They don't want, you to get sunburnt or whatever. So you're in this capsule from the time you're in the hospital to the time you're at home. And then when you're old enough to walk, you can run outside and see. It's so beautiful, right? And that's all I paint, because I get to do that every day when I wake up.
What drives you to do this work?
Just like the first question, right? Life. That's how my work is original, right? Because there's a new feat to fight every day. So so I get to keep it fresh. You know, it's like walking outside of the earth or walking outside of your house, right? As a baby, what I just explained. You love it, so you see it. That's what you paint. And whatever I paint, if you know my work, you see what I put out there. That's what I see when I walk outside. And that's what's, you know, that's what drives us, and that's what, you know, just hope for a better day.
Just a few more questions. Have you ever done a project that has had an unexpected outcome or an impact directly on your viewer?
My viewer? Yes, every time I do any kind of mural or painting, and that last question was about, you know, about canvas art or like art that I sell, right? And I sell, I guess, mural work too, but it's more of just an exchange of what we have and all we have, right? As a homeowner, sometimes all you have is your home, because that's where all your money goes, right? But you own a house and probably own the wall that's attached to that house. So I knock on their door and say, hey, I see you got a graffiti problem, right? You got all these squares from those fucking little kids, you know, or old kids, you know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I say, hey, I'll do you a favor and paint you a beautiful piece on your wall, and I won't charge you, you know, unless you want a crazy picture of Ronald Reagan or something on there, you know, then it's going to be a little pricey. But if it's just an honest exchange, and then I'm helping with, you know, combat the neighborhood gangsters from just tagging on a wall, because most of those guys too will respect the style and the message I probably will put on your wall. And that's the exchange, right? So no charge, just let me shine on your wall, basically. Kind of like this video, right? I'm not getting paid, but the lights say it all, you know? It's fucking amazing and beautiful, you know? Thank you for doing this too, because as an artist, I need stuff like this, you know, to throw out my art. Who am I? Who's this crazy guy that's, you know, painting all these pictures all over our city? Because, you know, I'm taking what I see and just kind of mirroring the community, you know, heavy issues that we all deal with, you know, from voting to putting your kid on a phone all day to keep him quiet or her quiet, and, you know, it's terrible. So the art is the antidote for all of that, okay? So that's what drives me.
I'm gonna cut there real quick. We're just gonna do a quick.
Saba, you need some water or anything?
Sure.
Yeah.
Was that 3 questions?
Would you like one more or 2 more?
1.
One, you got it.
So one thing that's not really
You'd like him to answer?
do a lot of really great collaborative work with a lot of great artists, and I'd love to hear some more about that, if that's okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, my camera's set up.
And you guys are going to be filming more, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, this is just sort of like the first.
Okay, because
interview.
I will
This is
come
just-
back on a better date,
Yeah,
trust.
yeah, no.
But this is the raw shit that people need to fucking hear, you know? Like,
And we appreciate it.
and I'm sorry, but that's just what I did to myself, right? So, it's all good.
No, this is perfect, and believe me, yeah, you got plenty of other opportunities to say things, you know, whenever you wake up tomorrow, you're like, fuck, man. I should've-
Oh, dude, that's why I
should've
hate
laid
doing
it
this
down
shit.
like this. No,
That's
you're
what
right.
I hate
You got
doing
it.
it, you know?
Hey,
It's
This
like,
is- you'll
I
get
wanted the raw vibe, so I really.
well,
appreciate
it's like catching a spot, right? I don't know if you guys ever done any kind of thing wrong, but you know, doing it is fun, right? That's why it's wrong. Like eating McDonald's every day.
I don't know if the law is picking that up. The shotgun certainly is. Can we walk a little quieter?
So if you'd like to talk a little bit about your collaborative work and who that's been with.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna have to start first and foremost with my mom, rest in peace, and my dad, because they collaboratively created me. Haha, just kidding. You know, and the only other person that really is responsible for me sitting in front of you right now would be Shauna Deish, my wife, the mother of my children. Big it up, Canyon and Patience. I love you guys. You know, and then from there, oh my goodness. I got to go back to Shauna, right? We've been together for 16, 17, 18 years. I'm sorry I lost count. She did too, kind of. Because it's not important how many years we have. It's just important that we continue, right? I call her my partner in time. And that's what it is at this point, you know. Every experience that we have is together. You know, it's her fault. I'm a badass. And you know, and there's no way for me to stop, you know, as long as they exist, and as long as my family and everybody else does. I think it's the same with every person I've collaborated with and every artist that I look up to, because once you collaborate with somebody, you kind of want to see, you know, behind the scenes of who they are, kind of like this interview, and how do you execute the style that you're known for, right? So everybody I've collaborated with is just that, you know. But I got to tell you, I've collaborated with some random drunk fool at a bar on tour one night in Whoville, fucking USA, you know. But I've also collaborated with some gods, in my opinion, you know, people I really respect and look up to. So I can't really name specific people, you know, other than the immediate people that keep me alive every day. If that's not too fucked up, you know, because I don't want to leave anybody out, and I definitely don't want to, you know, miss my opportunities with other people, you know. But again, I think that we're all doing this. We're all doing great work, you know. But I got to shout out Albuquerque, New Mexico. Pretty much, practically the whole state of New Mexico, you know, for being at the forefront and the tail end of everything, you know, when that circle comes back, because we are the final frontier, you know. Every other state and major city has been bent over and, you know, back again, like that circle, you know. And now they're looking for more places to do that same stuff. And what do you know? You know, I probably help contribute to a lot of that, you know, just from the work I do and the people I mess with, and, you know, but you can't stop that, you know. It's you know, it's ever evolving, right? It's just like graffiti coming from cave rock art, right? And now it's in a spray can, and we're gonna continue writing on rocks way past spray cans, you know. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, but that is the answer. Sorry. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Sure.
What are you doing right now? I know you got a couple homies that I know hired over at your shop, working on a project.
You know, you do bring up a great point, because those people there at the shop that I collaborate on a daily basis with, you know, which, you know, typically amounts to, like, you know, the old saying, like, this is how many friends I have in real life, you know, and it's true because there's 5 people I can name right now that really hold me down, and it's the Barricade Culture Shop crew, which, you know, it's a whole nother chapter of this, you know. And it's probably the reason why, you know, this as well, because it's a beautiful hub, and I like to call it an artist refugee school for the gifted.
So you're like Professor Xavier for.
No, not at all. Hell no. We have a Professor X, and his name is Professor Tars. He is a master ceramicist professor at, you know, your local institute. And, you know, just real life grown-ups that, you know, figured out that art is key, and, you know, and do it as a part of their daily career as well, low-key. So we kind of just all come there, you know. It's like we've been chewed up and spit out of the fine art galleries and corporate places that, you know, you got to wear a proper suit and uniform and cut your hair and all that crazy stuff. You know, and then we ended up working at Red Lobster for, you know, 5-10 years. And just, you know, it's probably life or death at that point. And fuck it, I'm gonna go into that store that had Donald Trump, you know, blowing his brains out in front of it, you know? Like, I don't know. It's, I'm gonna go in there and see what those guys have to offer, right? I always liked to do art when I was a kid. That's what they tell me when they come. And I'm like, well, what's your superpower, right? What can you bring to the table? What's your skill? And you can be a plumber, right? And we can put together these crazy bongs that we can paint and sell to the local smoke shop for hundreds of dollars. And that person, that plumber, doesn't have to move shit around anymore, but his own hands, and create what comes out of his mind. And then I can print them t-shirts and make them a logo, a website, and everything else, you know. And that's what it does. And then we send them off go fight the, you know, crazy criminals of the world through art and expression. But honestly, just loving life and finding somebody, you know, who wants to enjoy life and, you know, and attracted because you're just a badass painter or dancer or plumber, you know, and then just, yeah, you know, I guess that's where I'm at, you know. So stuff like this really scares me because it could propel my career bigger, which then that whole vision gets further away, right? Because I'm so busy. I gotta go here. I gotta be in New York next week. I gotta go paint a mural over here. You know, so it's a double edge. You know, but there are days when I wanna fucking just close the shop and go back to Red Lobster, because I could do $100 a day there, guaranteed, and the cheddar debate. Oh, I don't even fuck them guys. Just kidding.
So just real quick, how long have you been at Barricade?
4 years. Shout out Logan Howard. He was my partner in crime at that point. And we're still partners, still very good friends. He's a skater, I'm a painter, he's a painter as well. I'm a rollerblader off the record. But, you know, we felt that the youth that look up to us needed a place, a hub to go and embrace their barricades, right? Barricade Culture Shop is what it's called. Barricades stop you from doing what you want to do or go where you want to go, right? You buy a new car, you run into a dead-end street, you're not going to leave your car and get out and walk. That's a form of a barricade as well, the fucking car, right? We could get into all kinds of stuff, with the house, 30-year mortgages. Probably a horrible step for anybody. Knowing you can build your house for $10,000 with your bare hands if they would let you. But they won't, so you got to do all that other shit. Anyway, what's the question?
You answered it great, and we got less than a minute left on this tape, so there we go. You got it.
And then roll again?
Yeah.
Rolling.
That's it. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. Just, want to thank everybody who's helped me, Shout out to my Uncle Leonard, Aunt Vivian, JB Graphics, Big Parish, TNR Crew, Homish, Pecos, everybody that helps to believe in what we do and are doing it equally as good as I am in their hometowns and their places where they're at. So thanks for inspiring me to do that and keep it going. And then also to the local Las Cruces community, first and foremost, really, I wouldn't be a professional artist if I never, came down here, because I never thought this type of art or what I do is even functionable in the real world, right? But just like, us cave savages came from the cave walls and learned how to use a spray can and can paint it, and can paint just like the finest oil artist ever, means that we can do anything, and we are doing anything, and that's where the future is going to be. So everybody, just even in this place that we're sitting at, is really it's like finally it's happening. Like there's so many gyms in town and memberships and bullshit that doesn't really help us mentally deal with the situation that we put ourselves in, which is, the whole GMO, Illuminati, reptilian bullshit that we just do to ourselves. So, think about that and get a membership here at Cruces Creatives, and support all these guys doing this wonderful art and taking it into their own hands, because of the bigger companies that have been, strong-arming and profiting heavily off of our own, what's that word? Ignorance, and and also our own what's the other word? Scare, what we're scared of. I am the first business owner in my whole family, I believe. So if I could do this, trust, you can. Damn, that sounds so cheesy, like a dare, like I was just talking. That's why I mentioned Ronald Reagan earlier, because I wanted to make I want to make dare T-shirts, right, with the red print, and then just say Nancy, beware, whatever. I don't know. But.
I have one more question, and this is kind of going off of, you talked about using art as a means to survive, and I know, a lot of people here do it, on an emotional and a mental level, surviving because they're creating art, but was there a moment that you remember when you actually made it, when you figured out that you could use art to literally survive, like turn paintings into money instead of just making it so you could, mentally keep going? What was the moment you realized that I instead of just doing this for me, that I can do this to literally sustain myself?
When did I realize that?
Yeah.
When my mom and my grandmother took it upon themselves to increase their personal funding, instead of relying on the government for rations of food and checks that they give because you're Indian, or tribal clothes they give you because you're Indian, spam and all that shit. Just being poor, like they, nobody would hire them, whatever, the same old story. So they said, hey, people really love my fry bread, right? Indian fry bread. It's a delicacy. So they took it upon themselves to just hustle fry bread. And like I do, like how I get walls, they just went up and asked the owner of the building if they could set up in front of their business and sell fry bread. And they sold it every day, making like $300 a day. So just watching that and watching them take it into their own hands was when I realized that you can make something from nothing, which is what being an artist is. That's why I get harassed so much at my bank for being a fucking drug dealer or some shit, because I get paid for a painting I sell, and they're just like, well, where's this check coming from? Like, it's just like, well, why do you care? Like, it's my check, right? But I'm learning the right way, or the business way, right? So I'm an artist first and then a business person. So it's hard for me to see what the business world and how it operates, because like my mom and my grandma, they didn't get hired, so they made their own job, right? So and that's all you do is being an artist. You can sell. I've seen people sell, paintings on sunflower seeds. Sitting there eating sunflower seeds. Hey, I'll put your name on it. Like, it's not when, it's how, right? You see it. Your parents do it, right? They probably, people do a lot of crazy shit when you're poor, but you figure it out and you make it work, and there's derogatory terms that I'm not going to say, but MacGyver is probably like the, softest. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question either, but that's how I took it. Hope for what you asked.
Well, I want to say thank you.
Anything else?
Do you have anything you'd like to add? We have a couple minutes left on this roll.
Man, I got so much shit to add. And again, thank you to your collective. What is it called?
This is the Cruces Creatives Makerspace.
Oh, I already plugged you guys.
Yeah, you did.
Dude, I can't, I'm gonna elaborate more on this place, okay? Because this is what, and I'm so thankful that, because at first it came in like I was like in a fucking, FBI room. Like, who the fuck are you guys? I can't even see you, and what is this for? But now that, this place is honestly, it's a part of my near future, but I'm just so busy that I don't want to commit yet, because, I do that all the time, and if I don't come through, then I'm the jerk. So I'm trying to, again, build the crew and, continuously recruiting all you mutants and artists and Mexicans for work here in my land. Just kidding. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Disconnect me from it. I have some ideas I want to hash out before we wrap up this evening.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you, brother. Be in touch and figure out a new time that we can sit down, or we actually have to figure out a time that we can get over and start shooting some of your stuff over at your place.
Yeah.
Make it work, man. We want to get some of the shots and everything, I'm sure, of the murals that you were talking about and everything that we got off the outside of your building there, so.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be in touch to see when a good time to swing by and get a shot of all that. And then like, we're gonna have like a second interview or a third interview if you know, really feel like you didn't get something across and
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I will. Thanks for another day.
Cool. I appreciate you coming through and giving us the time that you did today, because this is great.
No, it was good.
First
I needed to
time.
vent out a lot of shit out, so.
No, I'm setting silence with my alarm.
All right, Kara.
Saba, it was great to meet you, man.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
excited to see some of your work.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very excited.
yeah, thank you.
Once you see his work, you realize you've been seeing it all along, all across town.
Oh, you.
Yeah, probably, right?
Dude, this is an awesome shot right here.
All right, so Anarchy isn't gonna be able to make it.
That is an awesome
Yeah.
shot.
Right? It's just, look at how cool this is by itself, just I zoomed all wide to the set. Just-
So I think we should do this next time when we're laving them and getting them settled, and then when we're ready to
Like walking on it, kind of would look cool.
Cause I mean, look how cool this, I mean, just look in the camera.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Like, look how cool this looks, like, is this okay over here, like, you want me over here, like,
Yeah, it's-
you know, then getting the lav on and,
stuff.
and sitting down, getting the water, you know, you can get all that, and then punch in and start the interview.
Cool.
Cause I think that's what Mikey was trying to go for with the 7D, but it's just, it
That-
has that,
right.
it has the cropped frame, so it's not gonna
Is
get
that,
that
I was
wide.
gonna ask, that's probably why with the 50, it doesn't, it's not as wide as I thought.
It's really like a 35 on with that 50, or no, I'm sorry,
it's
sorry,
other way around.
it's more like a 70, it's more like a 70.
Was it 1.6? What is that? It's 80, yeah.
80?
80.
Right, so that's pretty fucking long.
Yeah, right? I know, when I figured out the crop thing does it that much, I'm like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
that's
Like,
why, that's why I really am worried about buying a camera, the next one, like getting a full sensor, like.
Well, not necessarily, because if you looked into those super boosters,
Oh, yeah, you told me
Yeah,
about
I
those.
don't know.
Fucking-
so there are cheap ones, and there are fucking nice ones.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like, if you're gonna get like that Black Magic Pocket Cinema 4K,
Yeah.
that has a 3